is that? Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God!
And if you found this recording, you have to share it, or it'll be after you too.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to another episode of Found Footage Fridays, a series where we talk about found footage on a Friday with my co-host, Mike and Serial.
Hey y'all, happy Found Footage Fridays. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope it's even better now that you're listening to us.
I love that extra little spice you put
I
in
need
there.
a little bit more energy.
I know, I'm dragging so hard, like drinking coffee at like 9 o'clock at night. Okay. So, which is sort of my whole vibe, if I'm honest. So we've talked about doing these kind of when they first started coming out, but we decided we would kind of wait until there was more to build off of to see if we wanted to cover them. So we love an anthology, we love Asian horror, and we love found footage. So in this week's episode of Found Footage Fridays, we're going to cover the new Japanese horror anthology series on Found TV called Yami Douga, or what is it?
Tokyo
Ch-
Videos of Horror.
Videos of Horror. And if you don't know, Yami Doga translates into dark film or dark movie. I did look it up because I was like, that's got to mean something, right? So I looked it up, and that's what it means. So essentially, we're gonna probably skip synopsis because it's some of the clips in these are really short, some are kind of extended, and there's not really like an overall thing. The main point is that there are moments of darkness that happen in real life existence, and sometimes cameras accidentally capture these moments. So it's just a series of random moments that have happened. And again, some of them are a little bit longer with a little bit more of a story, and then some of them are these like little quick bursts of things. So we're going to cover the first episode, and then next week we're going to cover the second episode. We're going to see how we feel before we decide to continue down that that avenue. So for the first episode, non-spoiler thoughts. What were you thinking?
Non-spoiler thoughts, as if I have only watched the first installment of this entire anthology series. I really enjoyed this for a start. It
Yeah.
made me excited to see more of these films
Yes.
because there is a real creepiness to this because they're
Mm.
kind of portraying it as a real life event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, like they're really heavy on this is like a newscast thing
It's
that they're
almost
doing.
documentary,
Yeah,
kind
it
of.
really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And so I get where they were going. I
Mhm.
will say there is a critique to that part too, is it could have been they could have really nailed it with making it scarier. Where they kind of lose it is the overuse of showing that scary moment where
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
kinda
yeah. Because they
replay it
zoom
and slow
in
it
or
down,
they
and
slow it down. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine to an extent.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
they kind of overdid it,
Yep.
but I enjoyed this. There were, a few of the clips stories I really liked, and what
Mhm.
this really did, though, it reminded me of early YouTube when we didn't know all
Oh,
the stuff
yeah.
that could get onto the internet.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like if I watched this when I was first discovering YouTube, this would be the thing that I'm running to my cousins and saying, "You gotta watch this. Oh my
Mhm.
god, this like they caught ghosts on camera." Like I would
It's
have been
giving
freaking out.
yeah, it's giving like analog. It's giving analog horror, I would say
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah. Um I was trying to see if I could get really lucky and find the names of the clips since I'm lazy and didn't bring my notes up. Okay, so but my non-spoiler thoughts. The last segment in this completely wrecked me in a way that like I genuinely was so disturbed and like felt so crazy about that I was like, am I ever going to not feel uncomfortable again? Like it was the last segment in this so far, and I mean, we'll talk obviously about two when we get there, but so far, that segment has been the wildest and the hardest to get over emotionally. So which we'll get to when we get to spoilers. But no, I liked this. This is giving Noroi the curse, right? And then
Mhm.
there's another found footage that's like that. I'm drawing a it's not called The Cursed. It's called damn, what's it called? It's like that though, where and I don't want to say too much because it's kind of spoilery, but there's some certain little techniques that are used in the first episode of Yami Doga that are definitely used in this film that I'm thinking of that I'm spacing on the name. But that's what it reminds me of. The did you catch it kind of thing where they like zoom in or they turn the volume up or they lighten it. And I think that that's it's a little hokey, right? But I think for like TV personality, mockumentary-esque kind of things, I think it works fine. I don't really hate that much, you know? It's just like watching Ghost Adventures or something like that, where they're like, "Oh, did you hear that? Let me think. What do you think it says?" Like that kind of stuff. So I think that's fine. Some of the effects, I would say, in the first one are kind of silly, and they didn't really scare me at all. I will get to that. But the grave one and the last one, I think were really strong. I think those were really, really good. And then there's some shorter segments in there. The first one I would say was pretty good too, the firework one. But ultimately, I think they're on the right track to some cool stuff. I mean, like I said, it checks a lot of boxes for things that you and I are both interested in general. I mean, I think at this point there's like 16 of these or 15 or 16 of these on Found
Uh,
TV. There's a bunch.
there,
So
yeah,
there's a bunch. So, you know, if this ends up being something that you have seen and or you watch after you hear us talk about it and you like it, there's plenty to absorb because they just keep going. But it was a really cool little anthology. I love anthologies so much. So it was cool to see it kind of take the Noroi path of telling a story, but having all these different ones. And I really liked it for that. I thought that was good. What do you rate this?
I'm gonna give this 6 out of 10 tapes.
Okay.
I liked it. I think there was room for improvement. There was
Oh
some
yeah.
stuff that I didn't like
Yeah.
love, but I was entertained. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and I am excited for the next installments.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I am actually also going to give this a 6 out of 10. If I were to rate the last clip by itself, it would be probably substantially higher. But as a whole, I think it's a solid 6. I think it's worth checking out, and I definitely think it has me intrigued enough that it would make me want to watch more. And I think that says enough, honestly. Some of the graphics, like I said, are a little weak, a little silly, but I think ultimately its storytelling is there, its moments are there, its personality is there, and
Yeah,
I liked that part about it. So
me too.
yeah. Okay, so I'll put up our little banner, spoilers, so no one
Spoilers.
panics. Okay. All right, so the parts that I kind of thought were silly was the face that showed up in the wall when the little kids are playing the game.
Yeah. I think I think too for that particularly, it's because and I'll get to it's kind of intertwined with my spoiler thought too,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I get what you're saying because it to me the reason why one it was not well done in the background. I think they didn't
Graphically.
choose the right uh
Yeah.
setting or something. Uh
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think what made it look worse was they kinda already did that same exact thing in a clip earlier, and it was done better. So for me, I don't know
Yeah.
if this was one of the ones you found hokey or not. It scared the crap out of me when I first saw it, and then on the second watch, it didn't because then they ruined it by slowing it down and showing it to you. So the
Oh, yeah,
second
yeah, yeah,
clip
yeah.
called "The Passenger," when they
Oh.
get into the car,
Mm.
in the rear view mirror, you see a woman, like a silhouette of a woman, and right there, you're like, "Oh, okay, that's like we're seeing the ghost." I wasn't
Yeah, because
expecting
she's kinda
anything more than
see-through.
that. Like
Yeah.
they told the story. We see something in the background. That's what we were supposed to see, and then there's a face in
Oh,
the
yeah.
window,
In the window.
and my
Yeah.
stomach dropped
Yeah, I didn't
because
like that. Or I mean, I
it was a
did, but I
creep.
didn't.
it was a creepy face. It was
It
done
was
in a way I did not appreciate, but did appreciate. I'm with you. Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't like I didn't like
Yeah.
feeling that way, but I
Yeah, yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
that they got me. And
I
then
yeah,
they
I
did
agree.
it again, and then they're like, warning, this is going to be too disturbing, even though they just showed us the clip, and then they slow it down, and then you kind of see, like, the original, it's like a nice little pop, and then they're slowing it down, and you're like,
Yeah, I don't think that did that any well, because now you can pick apart the effects in the way that it looks.
yeah,
So when they do the one where she's sitting in that seat in the front, all you see like the black paint and the you're like, "Oh, okay." It's like, yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
If they would have just left that first
That quick
her in the window, boom, one of the again,
totally agree.
and I can't. If they wouldn't have added anything else, it's not as scary, but I would put it closer
Mhm.
to the scenes that we always talk about, like from Horror in the High Desert, from
Mhm.
Ganjiam Haunted Asylum. Everybody knows that
Yeah,
face. This, I mean, those were scarier to be honest, but this could have been
could
up
have really been
there
put up there.
with
Yeah.
them, but they kind of overdid it, slowed it down, and then it just took away any of that fear that
Yeah.
you had.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
then they do the one you were talking about, and it's just like this painted on face on a door,
I did
and it
not like it.
just
I didn't like that. I was like, well, because you've got kids playing like a little game. And so you're immediately like, oh no, kids, right? You're like, oh, it's gonna be scary. And then it goes whoop. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm but and that's it for that one. That's it. It's just that
yeah,
one little thing. And then the grave cleaning thing is this one, right? It's the first
yeah,
one. Okay, so I really liked that one where they go, they're these like grave cleaning guys and they go and they do these things based on these people and the people tell them to go do these things and they do them. So they're like, "Oh, you have to record it instead of just taking a picture of it." So he goes and he does this like whole ass ritual. Okay. Who is doing all that not knowing it's a ritual? And ultimately, he ends up. But what I love about this was the floating heads. So that what is that movie? Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's just like Noroi. It takes place in a house. They believe somebody in the house is possessed, so they like come. It's an Asian horror movie, and but it has the floating heads in it. So I was like, okay, nostalgia. It's like, but no, the reason I love that one isn't the floating heads. The reason I love that one is because later they tell you that the guy who died's wife is 100% the one who gave him this curse to do. So that he says, "Oh, she was happy today, and she's never happy."
we love women's rights and we love women's wrongs.
I'm like,
Uh,
well, because the guy says like he was not a great husband. He would like hit
yeah.
her and then she like comes out one day and she's just like really happy suddenly and then he just like kicks the bucket.
So
And I
I
love it.
enjoyed that story. I
I like the
liked the
story.
ritual aspect. I like what you were talking about, like what we find out. I did not like nor appreciated the floating heads.
I just
It
thought they were
took me out.
fun.
Well, because for
Yeah.
me, I was not creeped out, but like I was invested in this story as a
And then that
ghost
happened.
story. Like, and I'm like, oh, like they don't need to do anything. Like, this is good
This is
enough.
enough.
And then the floating heads with the weird sound, and I'm like, damn.
Oh,
So,
it was that
but
part was kind of goofy. I agree, but it was fun.
but overall, most of these stories were really good. But
Yeah,
because you had such a big reaction, I want
yeah.
you to take away with the last segment.
Oh my god. Okay, so I would say that that shit needs to have like a trigger warning. I was trying, when you're like a horror fan and you try to explain to other people in your life like what you were watching and they just look at you. That was like me and Addie yesterday. I was like, "Let me tell you about this crazy ass thing." And so, okay, so the premise is this. Um, this woman who is like got to be 8, 9 months pregnant. She's very pregnant. She goes to meet with these two guys because she owes money, and they basically tell her that they're gonna help. Like they have a way for her to essentially like wipe her debt clean or whatever. And she doesn't want to agree to it because it doesn't give you as much up front, right? It doesn't tell you till later, but essentially They want her to cut her baby out, and they're going to record it because of some dark web craziness, okay? And so, which I am fascinated by, not interested in, okay? Let's just be honest. Fascinated by the concept of people like this is real. Like these are things that probably happen. So anyway, so long story short, they drug her, and she like wakes up, and she's like in this really like clean little kimono, like white robe thing, and she's sitting down very neatly with her very pregnant belly, and there's like a blade in front of her within the sheath. And so she's like, oh, can I practice? And I'm like, oh, she is about to fuck them up. I was so there for that. That is not what happens. She attempts to, she attempts to, but they end up attacking her instead, and they cut the baby out, and they leave the baby like this fetus sitting out beside her, and they drag her body off. And that's not all, ladies and gents. They take her, the camera's still rolling because he set it down. They also linger a lot on her body, and she has like no, she's the robe is like completely off, or it's like it was very unsettling, very uncomfortable. And meanwhile, there's like a feed. Anyway, so they drag her body off, and then this guy tells this other guy to be like to have sex with her on cameras for because they're going to post these and they're going to make money off of it. And I'm just like, I'm so uncomfortable. But then the camera is on the fetus, and this black fog mist, I don't know what you want to call it, glitchy looking stuff comes off of the baby and goes and kills those two men. And the title of the section is Revenge. And I was like, I'm telling you, the level of discomfort that I felt. And genuinely, I don't even think it's just because I'm a parent. Like, I don't even think it's just that. I think the vulnerability, the invasion of that, like, I just think everything that happens and the things they say about what they're going to do to her body, like all of that, you're just like, what the anyway, so that one was insane. Like insane. And I think it's the longest clip in that one, if I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. I think it's like because it's the last one. But you're just like, what? And then at the very end of it, like they're talking to this guy. I can't remember if he's like a detective or if he's just somebody who found it. Because they talk a lot about the houses being owned by the Yakuza. Um, and he's like, oh, these are their houses. We have to go clean up when they do all these. That's what he is. He's like a cleaner. And so he goes and he's like a mafia cleaner, not like a regular cleaner, like a mafia cleaner. And so he goes and he takes this picture of the bathroom where those people were killed, where they tried to do that to that woman. And it's got all these tiny little black hand and feet prints everywhere. And you're just like, I don't know. That would just completely destroyed me, and I felt so uncomfortable. It took so long for me to like get over that. And I was not prepared for that, needless to say.
Yeah, I definitely agree that that one was uncomfortable, but it was in such a way, like you said, it was a fascinating concept, and almost to the point, like I'm in this middle ground of, could we turn this into a full-length feature? Do we want to turn this into a full-length
That one, that
feature?
part, yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like there was layers to this, and it did make a great segment, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I could see this expanding
Mm.
in story-wise. But kind of like what you said is, in expanding the story, you have to expand on this uncomfortableness, and is it
Yeah.
worth it in the end? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was very, very, very smart of them
Mhm.
to make that the final
Yeah.
segment,
It's like a gut
because
punch. Yeah.
it's such a lasting impression. So whether or not
Yeah.
you found the segment before with the floating heads a little hokey,
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
you
yeah.
liked something or not, I feel like you're ending this movie on a strong note. And
Yeah.
had we recorded this like immediately after,
Mhm.
like half an hour later kind of thing, I
Mhm.
think my rating would have been higher because I would have still been writing off
Thinking
the
about that one. Yeah,
yeah.
I think same for me. Yeah, because and the other thing I have to say too is it's slow. Like, it takes its time. Like, I'm telling you, the scene where he's holding the camera on her body, it just stays there for like a crazy amount of time. Like, it is so slow and deliberate in its delivery of the discomfort that you're just like, why am I watching this? And like I said, trying to explain it to anybody else or like, and you find this entertaining. It's like it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's memorable. It's I would say the most memorable clip from the first one for sure, but like Country Mile, because it's like it was really, really well done. And I just that woman who, I mean, granted, she has like her little bit where she is alive and she's on camera and she's saying things. She was very convincing. Her just withdrawnness, like the way she was like sad, clearly sad, and trying to just everything about it was just so believable. And oh yeah, it was an intense ending for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, yep.
That's that.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you've ever had to try to explain some crazy shit like that to somebody and they're just like, we feel you.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up this week's episode of Found Footage Fridays. We will be back next week doing Yami Doga episode 2. So if you have not seen it, you have plenty of time to catch up for next week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this episode of Found Footage Fridays. Hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy your week, and Mike and I will see you next time.